record on this computer. Okay, welcome to week 3. We're doing well, guys, surviving in all this. And greetings. There's so much happening, I don't know where to start, so I'll just start. As star beings that we really are, we're here to bring in the love and the light. The only way we can create high dimensional earth fully as a peaceful, harmonious space for us all to exist in. That's our job. And, you know, having that harmonious space and peaceful space and abundant space is our divine right. And it's what we're here for, to bring in that light and bring in that space. And now with these eclipses, you know, we've just experienced one, we're about to experience another, you know, it brings in another, we experience another great leap in our mission of the unity and reconnection to our galactic heritage, as Margaret's experiencing. She was sharing a little bit earlier, as we all are. And that's to resume our original divine blueprint. And we're all here to anchor that pure love from source into the denser realms of creation, which is here. And so, you know, for most of us now, I think we all are ready, really, I know I am, to lay down our weary bodies. Everyone, or a lot of people, seem to be very exhausted as we are moving even closer at a really rapidly increasing rate to our, you know, return to that complete love field. And it seems like our light bodies are fine with the massive frequency integration and the influxes that we're having, but our human vessels are really struggling because it's the last thing for this light to come through and into. It's the densest form of ourselves. So, yeah, it takes a bit of a toll on our human bodies. And so it's important, as I always say, to keep hydrated, drink plenty of high-frequency water. At the moment, you really need to be supplementing with magnesium and possibly silica as well, because our cells are changing from the denser to the crystalline, so the silica will help in that cell transformation that's going on. And this is part of why we're so tired as well, because our physical cells are transforming into things that can, like a form that can hold a lot more light. And, you know, it's tough. And that's where, you know, you get the aches and the pains and the flu-like symptoms. And, yeah, I've sort of been not feeling too crash hot the last few days, but I've also had lots of messages and emails from people saying exactly the same thing. And our families of the light really want to assist us and to send light and insight as we ride these sort of tumultuous waves into, you know, the July 2nd, like the July 3rd eclipse energies that we had yesterday. Whilst we are still integrating the solstice downloads, and, you know, and then add on top of that yesterday's total solar eclipse frequencies. So, yeah, just, you know, you really got to appreciate what we're actually going through, those that are consciously involved in this, and imagine the struggle for those that aren't. So everything that's going on both around us and within us is without precedence, and we really need to gather and support each other, as well as gather and receive help from the higher realms. And is there going to be a respite? I'm being told not at this time. We must somehow find the strength and the courage to just keep pushing forward as we traverse the resets that are occurring on many, many levels around the globe. And this is cosmically, cosmical resets, financial resets, spiritual resets, emotional resets, physical resets, and the list goes on and on and on. And so there is continuous infusions of really high frequency light that we haven't had to deal with before, and it's just flooding the planet, and it's illuminating powerful upgrades in consciousness right throughout this month and into August. So yeah, take a breath. And so the eclipse we just experienced yesterday on July 3rd brought through a power portal of light at a level which has not been seen or felt here in virtually probably centuries. And eclipses are key moments anyway in time and space. They're precise moments when our meditations or our conscious contact can actually change the course of both ourselves and the entire world. Many of us equate the sun with the Father, the moon with the Mother Goddess, and the earth as their material offspring, resulting with the intersection of the divine polarity. And the beauty of this really is that from our vantage point on earth, all three members of that family are equal in size and influence. And so the moon, the sun, the moon and the earth, like they all, they're equal in size, but they're also equal in influence, and they take turns giving, receiving, cradling, and shadowing each other. And so total solar eclipses are a hard sort of reboot to both conscious and subconscious awareness. The dark truth will be revealed in the light of day to be dealt with. And the astral veil will draw back, and something our subconscious has long known will emerge into our conscious awareness. And this is giving us a chance to correct our course in alignment with the highest and divine will. And for me, the dark moon, which we had at the same time as the solar eclipse, we had the dark moon or the new moon when there is no moon. It's about the gateway that lies between an old cycle and a new cycle. And it's the mutable or variable phase, sort of in the middle, where you can manifest either way. So where the previous lessons are integrated, the ones up until that time, into awareness, and then there is the opportunity for the transmutation to reset our systems and the systems on the planet and prepare us for whatever comes next. So dark moons to me are a sort of a threshold between what stepping stones brought us here to that moment and the path that lies beyond. And so when the moon passes over the sun, we have a solar equivalent to the dark moon happening all at the same time, which is why this was an absolute double-barrel dose, because we had the dark of the eclipse and the dark of the dark moon or the new moon. And that was in Cancer. And the sign of Cancer is family, home, tradition, heritage, and also creativity. What kinds of truth are being forced into your conscious awareness now through this portal of bringing up the hidden shadows? And where does this particular gateway lead us? Because this occurred in Cancer, this would affect the realms of family, home, tradition, and heritage. And it could affect your watery aspects also of emotion, empathy, and your creativity. And once more with yesterday's event, I keep coming back to the, analogy of the hard reboot of the operating systems that happened, that normally govern our sort of foundational program in regards to these family and tradition dynamics. So the foundational programming is the false programming. So while the typical dark moon is like a scheduled restart of subconscious awareness, and the solstice season is a scheduled restart of the conscious awareness, a solar eclipse is metaphorically like what happens when our computer was jammed up and just froze. Something that is happening something that was going on your computer didn't quite compute, and the system was just overwhelmed and some kind of, stuck in a feedback loop, which, humanity's been stuck in these feedback loops for eons now. And, which is sort of twirling away and giving the hard nope on whatever, you thought you were going to do on the computer. So I think a solar eclipse is the sort of astrological equivalent of just holding down the computer's off button until all else is overridden and the system is forced to shut down and then restart from scratch. So these sort of hard reboots are not great. Nobody likes it when, this last resort must be used. Least of all, your operating systems, our bodies. But they are necessary if you mean to get anything done in the future, or if you mean to, if you choose a higher path, if you choose to step away from the old dysfunctional behaviours and family patterns. So, the solar eclipse is a system reset. And this solar eclipse shut down what was stuck and reset your system. And in this case, I think it mostly affected home, family, relationships. It could even touch a spiritual family of choice. Yes, that's sounding right. And the magical traditions that you share with your spiritual family. So really, we needed to brace ourselves for a dramatic impact because we still have another eclipse to go. And this could manifest as, it could even manifest depending on how stuck you are in and how prepared you've made yourself at this time. You may lose something that you've worked hard to build. In this case, perhaps some, relationship or a creative endeavour you've been, feeding into for a long time. It may very well be revealed to be a waste of your effort. And as hard as these lessons are, ultimately, these are all very good things to know. Because anywhere that we're sending out dead energy is a distraction. And it's keeping us from embodying the amount of light that we need to embody and to getting on and doing what we came here to do. So, perhaps your loyalties, love and trust have been misdirected to those who would and maybe have or would harm and exploit, but you just sort of couldn't let go before, couldn't see their falsehoods. So perhaps, and this is very hard especially when it comes to family or close loved ones. We don't want to see their falsehood, and generally, as light workers, we tend to see the best of everyone, even to our own detriment at times. And to do this, we're stunting our growth. We're stunting our growth. So, perhaps your intuition's been sort of niggling you, but you didn't want to believe that something was wrong, or, you didn't want to make the step to make big changes, or you didn't want to withdraw your energy, you know, from wherever it was going, that's you know, not good for you. So now's your time to expose that harm really and deal with it properly during these, you know, overlapping gateways that we're in. And it could also be that you're the one that's been doing the harm to your partner, to your loved ones, your family, your extended family, you know, whatever. It's much like getting suddenly stripped naked in a spotlight, really, especially around these, you know, under the solar eclipse in Cancer, the lies you've told to people and the crimes you've committed against others will be revealed. And the consequences of your action will come due for repayment. So, although, you know, hopefully for all of us that's not the case, but any little thing is worth going within, you know, really inside yourself and having a good look at what's actually there. And remember, karma's only a bitch if you're one first. In the long run, it's likely best just to get the ugly business over with already so you can move on without the constant nagging fear of when. So, as I've just said, this potent sort of celestial energy frequency did and is, because it's still happening, is again shaking more lost or dark fragments up to the surface that has been, you know, sort of resonating within us, which are out of alignment with the central sun portals. And it's really this that has kept all of us on some level, because if we completed all this, we wouldn't be here. But yeah, so on some level, it's kept all of us as our lesser selves, disconnected to varying degrees, tangled and divided, rather than in a space of unity. And so the energy of July will expose even more of that within us, that emits frequencies of division and discord. And if we can work through this initiation, then ultimately we invite a greater union and harmony and coming together in greater alignment and in wholeness again. If you can make a true and conscious decision to do that. It'll be a type of resetting of your inner nature to the light. And this is the opportunity to do it. So time really has truly come on our world where our cosmic and our divine potential, which is very much, it's our sacred birthright, it is now returning. And once consciously aligned with this flow, we will move into our higher timelines of being sovereign, unified and aligned and completely filled with light, without interference. But for now, we just have to tough it out. And for you, a healing, like we're healing, dear ones, all the corrupted codes inside yourself from all of your lifetimes here. This is not a one lifetime clearing. It is an all-time clearing that expands across all our timelines, all lifetimes, all dimensions, and all universes. And that's why we're doing it tough. And all of this, really, it's all happening within you, because every single cell is the universe. So, you know, if you look as a cell, as one of your cells as a universe, you've got thousands and millions and trillions of cells. So everything that, as within, so without, everything that's happening around you and in the greater universe is happening within each individual cell in your body as well. All of this is within you. Big times, big times. And so on the 17th of July, which is in 2 weeks' time, we have the second eclipse, which is the partial lunar eclipse, which we will be able to see from here. And what will this bring to us? Well, the lunar eclipse is in Capricorn. So besides taking full responsibility for your actions, Capricorn is about discipline. It's about realizing that you are at the helm of this boat. And so the waters you find yourself in or the storm you're in are because you steered the boat this way. Just like steering a ship where, you know, if you've ever steered a ship or a boat, just a little movement of the wheel turns the boat. Small changes lead to big results, especially as the frequencies continue to rise around the multiverse. And so it may be the case that for many, we will need to steer ourselves out of this storm with the knowing that in a few weeks or months, having done the work and having honestly looked within ourselves and cleared out what needs to be cleared out, we will be, you know, a better sailor if we choose the higher road. So, yes, so much happening, so much happening. As I said, like we've just gone through the solstice. We've now, yesterday, had the total solar eclipse. 2 weeks, we've got the lunar eclipse. And then just after that, we've got the Lionsgate portal. So we've got opening after opening after opening after opening gateways that are all overlapping. And there is a huge amount of people waking up now. And those that have been on the path for a while are now really stepping and integrating their higher selves into their bodies, embodying it, and beginning with the hand mudras, the light language, the channelings, and all the other beautiful, amazing things that come with committing and doing the work and integrating these higher aspects into our physical bodies. So, yes, exciting times, tough times, but I know with the help of one another, we can all absolutely get through this. Absolutely. And so the activation is quite a big one today. So